Hello students, today we will learn about limits of a function. So before starting with limits, let's have a brief introduction about function. What is function? Function is basically a mathematical expression or an operation which takes some values of x in the form of input and it gives values of y as output. So we can write it as y is a function of x, y equals to f of x. This function is said to be defined at x equals to a. I'm just taking a point x equals to a. This function is said to be defined at this point only if this function gives a unique value if we put x equals to a in this. But there may be a possibility that this function will not give a unique value at this point. In those cases, we need to define limits. So what are limits? Limits refers to the value that a function or a sequence approaches as input approaches to a specific value. Limits are important prospect in calculus as they are used to define continuity, derivatives, and integrals. So here we will check the existence of limit. To check whether the limit exists for a function of f of x at x equals to a, we need to check whether right hand side limit should be equals to left hand side limit. So what are those left hand side limit and right hand side limits? As we defined a function f of x, suppose this function is not defined at x equals to a, but it is defined in vicinity of these points like x a tends to a plus or x tends to a minus. What does it mean? A minus means simply we are putting the values of x just greater than a, and a minus means we're just putting the values just below than a. So if the value of function at these 2 points like x a tends to a positive or x a tends to a negative, if these two values are same, then we will say limit is exists. Let's take a sample problem. Here we will check the limit whether the limit exists for this function fx equals to x square at x equals to 2. For that we need to calculate the right hand limits and left hand limits. First we calculate right hand limit. For that we will put x equals to just value greater than 2, that is 2 plus. Here we are representing it with 2 plus h. H is a very small value. So we will put x tends to 2 plus, that is 2 plus h in this function. Our function was x square, so it will become 2 plus h whole square and h tends to 0. So it will comes out to be 4 as h approaches to 0. Now calculate left hand limit. For that we will put x equals to just below 2, that is 2 minus h. So fx will become 2 minus of h square, that is 4. So here we can see that limit x tends to 2 plus and x tends to 2 negative are equal. So that simply means here limit exists and which is equals to 4. So let's see the methods of evaluating the limits. We have several methods. First method is direct substitution. In case of continuous function, for any continuous function, we can just directly put the value of x and we will get the limit value. And second method is factorization method. If the limit becomes indeterminate form, that is 0 by 0 form, then the function can be factorized and we will just split our function into some factors and those factors can be cancelled out. And third method is rationalization. In this method, if there is a indeterminate form, we will just rationalize it and it can be converted into determinate form. So I'm taking a problem. We have the function limit x tends to 1, 5x square plus 3x minus 2. So it's just a direct substitution problem. Here we can substitute x equals to 1 in this function directly because it's a continuous function. 5 multiplied by 1 square plus 3 multiplied by 1 minus 2, that is 6. Second problem is limit x tends to 5 mod of x minus 3. Here we can see that this is a continuous function. We can just directly put the value of x in this function. 5 minus 3, that is 2. Based on our second method, that is factorization method, let's take an example. Limit x tends to 1, x square minus 3x plus 2 divided by x minus 2. So here what will we do? We will factorize these terms. The term in numerator can be factorized into x minus 1, x minus 2. If we multiplied both terms, it will become this. So here what we did, we just factorized this equation into these terms. These are the factors of this equation. And here x minus 2 and x minus 2 can be cancelled out and we left with this limit x tends to 2, x minus 1. And now it simply becomes that first case where we can just put this value limit x tends to 2. We can just substitute it and we will get 2 minus 1, that is equals to 1. Okay, let's take another example. Here limit x tends to 1, x cube minus 1 divided by x minus 1. This term x cube minus 1 can be factorized into x minus 1 multiplied by x square plus x plus 1, and in denominator it's x minus 1. So why we are factorizing it into this term? Because this x minus 1, x minus 1 can be cancelled out. So after cancel outing these terms, we will left with only x square plus x plus 1, which is a continuous function, and we can just directly substitute this value x tends to 1 into this equation, and we will get 1 square plus 1 plus 1, that is 3. So in the next slide, we will learn about rationalization method. Let's take another example. Here our function is limit x tends to 0, root x square plus 4 minus 2 divided by x. If we directly put x equals to 0 in this, it will become, this will be 0 plus 4 root 4, that is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, and here itself it's 0. So it will become 0 by 0 form, that is indeterminate form. So we cannot just directly substitute this value. Here we need to do rationalization because some under root terms are there. So we will just multiply root x square plus 4 plus 2. So what will we do? We will just rationalize these terms. We will multiply for root x square plus 4 plus 2 in numerator and denominator also. So it will not make any difference if we multiply these terms in numerator and denominator also. So after multiplying these two terms, that will be a minus b multiplied by a plus b. It will become a square minus b square. Square of this term will become x square plus 4 minus 4, and in denominator it will simply x root x square plus 4 plus 2. Here limit x tends to 0. This 4 cancel out, and this x square we will left out with x square divided by root x square plus 4 plus 2. Now we can simply put x equals to 0 in this term. 0 square, that will become 0, and in denominator 0 square plus 4, that is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 0 upon 4, that is 0. So this is another method, L'Hospital rule. In case limit of function is of indeterminate form, we can straightway use L'Hospital rule. Suppose we are facing a 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. In that case, we can just use this L'Hospital rule. What exactly it is? If our function is given as limit x tends to 0, x tends to a, f of x upon g of x, then what we need to do, we will just differentiate this numerator and denominator term separately. Here we will differentiate this d upon dx of f of x and d by dx of g of x, and we'll try to convert this 0 by 0 form into a continuous function. So let's understand this L'Hospital rule by taking an example. We have our function sin x upon x, limit x tends to 0, that is equals to 1. We need to prove it. If we simply put x equals to 0 in this function, sin 0 is 0 and x is 0. This is 0 by 0 form, that is indeterminate form. So we can apply L'Hospital rule here, because L'Hospital rule can be applied to 0 by 0 form, or if it's infinity by infinity form. So we can apply L'Hospital rule here. By using L'Hospital rule, what we will do, we will just differentiate this numerator and denominator term separately. Differentiation of sin x divided by differentiation of x. Differentiation of sin x is cos x and differentiation of x is 1. So our function will become cos x, limit x tends to 0. Now we can simply put x equals to 0 in this function, cos 0, that will become 1.